Welcome to SpaceBeat, powered by the USA Today Network. I'm Rob Landers, your host, and I am joined today by space trending reporter Eric Legata. Eric, the whole reason that we decided we wanted to do the SpaceBeat thing was so that we could kind of talk about some of the stuff that you've covered over the past week. I understand there's a spectacular light show coming up this week. What can you tell us about the upcoming meteor shower?
Yeah, well, the Perseids meteor shower is scheduled to peak for 2 nights here in August on Tuesday, August 12th and Wednesday, August 13th. The meteors will be their most active. Now, of course, the meteor shower itself has been active for much longer than that, but if you want to see the best activity, this would be the time to do it. But unfortunately, this year, there's a nearly full moon. The moon is about 84% full, so that's probably going to hamper a little bit the views that you'll see, unfortunately.
So let's say I miss tonight and I miss the 13th. How long can people expect to maybe go out and there's a shooting star? Through the month of August.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So the meteor shower, it became active in July, and so you could start to see some meteors then. And just because it's peaking doesn't mean that when the peak's over, you're going to lose your chance to see the Perseids. So they'll be active through Saturday, August 23rd. So you'll have about another week and a half or so after the peak to still see them. And honestly, if might be better viewing than the peak activity, since hopefully the moon might not be as much of an interference. So we'll see.
When we come back, Eric and I are going to talk about a super ultra massive black hole that's nowhere near us. Okay, so a couple other stories that you've covered this week. One, there is a story that I do want to talk about, kind of throwing you a curveball here. Let's talk for very briefly about this massive, ultra massive black hole that was discovered in the cosmic horseshoe. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. The black hole at the center of our galaxy is like the mass of 40 million suns. This one is like, I don't know, 1,000 times that size.
Yeah, so I think so. Sagittarius A, that's at the center of our galaxy. As far as I know, it's about 4.3 million times bigger than our sun. And so this one is the size of about 36 billion suns. So that's billion with a B. So yeah, that's a lot bigger than our own supermassive black hole at the center of the Milky Way, which again kind of lends it that name. Not a supermassive black hole, an ultramassive black hole. So astronomers think that this would be the biggest black hole ever discovered, based on that
I'm
science.
sorry. I'm a fan of The Office, so I just have to throw in that's what she said.
I am too. I get it.
But this thing is this. Okay, so I heard this fact earlier this week, and it's a mind-boggling fact that if you were at let's say you were in the vicinity of this black hole, and you look back towards where Earth is, Earth actually wouldn't be there. You wouldn't see Earth because it's so far away. It's 5 billion light years away. So that light from our sun likely has not even reached that black hole yet because we weren't here 5 billion years ago.
That sounds right to me. I haven't seen that fact for myself, but that sounds right to me. It's fascinating to think about.
It's mind-boggling when you think about how vast the universe is. When we come back, Eric and I are going to talk about all things Starship and Elon's plans to move to the Sunshine State. Hey, YouTube viewers, don't forget to click that like and subscribe button so you never miss one of our space videos or an episode of SpaceBeat. So speaking of vast and far distances, we have heard a lot in the past several years about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' plans to go to Mars. We know that Elon has Starship, and Starship has had some difficulties getting off the ground. What can you tell us is going on with Starship? What's the latest? Yeah.
Yeah, so Starship is obviously that's SpaceX's massive rocket that they're developing for future astronaut missions to both the moon and to Mars. Obviously, Elon Musk has long talked about his dreams and goals of sending the first humans to colonize Mars in the years ahead. And so Starship, which stands out about 400 feet tall when it's fully stacked, has not launched since May. It's in development right now. They've done 9 test flights for it so far since April 2023. But yeah, it's there's been a little bit of a pause because back in June they were preparing for the 10th test flight and had some issues with it exploding on the test stand. This would be the upper stage of Starship exploded on the test stand before it was mounted to the booster. So that delayed things a little bit, but it looks like SpaceX has things back on track to launch Starship again later here in August. And obviously, so Starship launches from SpaceX's Starbase, which is in South Texas. And so that's where it will take place. And obviously, this will be another highly anticipated launch to see how what SpaceX can accomplish. They've had some issues with their past few test flights with the Starship upper stage exploding mid-flight. Obviously, the test flight in May was a little bit more successful than the previous test flights this year. Made it a little bit further, but I'm sure SpaceX would like to uh, have it land in the ocean instead of as planned instead of exploding in the sky.
Well, I was just going to say, you've written a story recently also that I think Mexico would appreciate it exploding further out than right there on the coast. The president of Mexico earlier this year threatened to sue SpaceX if it proved that the companies these explosions were harming wildlife and polluting their beaches, right?
Correct. Yeah, I think some debris from some a previous explosion ended up in a part of Mexico, and so yeah, the president of Mexico did kind of mention that they were looking into potentially taking legal action. Nothing ever came from that, so that I've heard. So I don't think they actually ended up filing any sort of lawsuit, but it was definitely something they were looking into after one of these mishaps in the sky. So that was interesting.
Well, and likely, if things go as planned, Mexico won't have to worry about it too much longer anyway, because Elon's about to make a big move, right?
Yeah, so SpaceX has long been, laying the groundwork to bring some of these Starship operations to Florida as well, just so that they can, further accelerate the development of this vehicle. And as far as I know, SpaceX has plans on track to conduct a Starship launch potentially by the end of the year 2025 from Kennedy Space Center in on Florida's Space Coast. And that would be just the first of many as they continue to expand their operations here to the Sunshine State. And they're building also their massive gigabay as well, just so that they can kind of accelerate both the development of these spacecraft and the launch cadence as well. They'd still be launching from Texas, I believe, but this would just be a second state so that they could kind of expand those operations and do it a little bit more often.
Nice, nice. All right. Well, Eric, thanks for joining me today, and we'll see you again in a few weeks. Be sure to tune in next week when I have space reporter Brooke Edwards on to talk about the new NASA directive to put a nuclear reactor on the moon by the mid 2030s. That's it for this week. We'll see you soon.